Hey guys, it's Saru, and I know that I haven't done much Mavericks content, if any, in the last while, and that's my fault. But the reason for that is that I really do not like doing speculative videos where I just guess things and it may or may not be interpreted incorrectly by the masses as real information. I can't stand it. I don't like it. So whenever there's actual news that I can actually report for a game or an update, I'm on it. First on the scene, Sarumonin. Now with that out of the way, Improbable, the creators of Spatial OS, posted a wonderful little blog post about Mavericks Proving Grounds. Admittedly, I've been lurking in the community for the game for the last little while, just starving for news and beta this summer, but this shall do for now. I will link the article in the description below if you guys want to read it yourselves, as I'm just going to really point out key things from the article itself. I'm not just going to read it out loud here in the video. This is not an ASMR video. So, Improbable goes on to talk about the game and how it was previously titled Project X, using Spatial OS technology and CryEngine as their graphics engine for the game. A brand new term came up, POW, or POW. I'm gonna call it POW, or Persistent Open World, detailing that the game is a giant, beautiful, dynamic world incorporating both destruction and persistence, so that hundreds of players can see their impact on the game world across several game modes. Now, assuming that means what I think it means, I'm not speculating here, but I'm just kind of confused what that means. Are they saying that if I affect something in one game mode, it will affect the rest of the game modes? We know from previous articles that they released that players have a huge impact on the game year long, and it does reset every year. But let's see what else they had to say. Improbable goes on to talk about the studio behind the game, Automaton Games, which includes former Jagex employees such as James Thompson, who is the CEO. He used to work for Jagex under RuneScape and was best known as the creator of the widely used OS Buddy. I guess it's now known as RS Buddy? I don't know about that. Don't quote me on that. In 2017, the team behind Mavericks released their first title, and one of my favorites, Deceit, which is a multiplayer action game with some horror elements into it, and it had one of the best monetization systems I've ever seen up to date. It also used the CryEngine game engine, and I believe they started using Spatial OS for it in 2017. But I definitely recommend you guys check it out if you have not done so yet. It's definitely a great game, and it's free to play now. Anyways, back to the game. So the blog goes on to talk about how the game was built from the ground up with an MMO architecture which is set in the near future. So here's some cool details about that. The world of Mavericks is an island ran by a central capital with 4 towns and different factions around the same isle. Each faction has its own motivations for taking part in the game itself, making the best of things perhaps, or just trying to dominate over the entire island. Players will have a role in the narrative in the sense that overthrowing the current ruling faction to become a dominant force. Interesting. We already know that Mavericks uses advanced I'm having a stroke.
Photogrammetry.
Thank you, Google. Which is basically to make the fidelity of the world look much more realistic. They also talk a little bit about the muddy footprints, which we've seen in action already, and we are kind of already know what it's about, which is basically that people can see where the muddy footprints are to kind of track players. Here's the quote from the article itself. While the POW, or Persistent Open World, experience is a future goal, Automaton is currently aiming to have its 400-player Battle Royale mode ready for summer closed beta. This part of the game tackles the genre in a scalable, technological savvy way, as yet unseen in other similar titles, that allows for scalability from just a few players all the way up to the promised 400 players. So originally we thought that we would be getting a smaller version of the Battle Royale mode this summer, like up to 100 players, but it seems like we're going to be getting the full 400-man experience after all. Of course, nothing in the article states that we're going to be getting vehicles like the tanks until next year, but it's still pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. Some more on the MMO side of things in the game is that according to the website, the game will have a narrative-driven persistent open world with character progression, player hubs, a trading system, and a machine learning-driven quest and event system. I suppose that means that the game will have quests for players to do alongside community or daily/weekly events and more. With that in mind, the capital will offer some cool social interactivity options with a trading economy in place. There's going to be perks and customization options for players to look their own unique way as well. And from the article itself, while it's all couched in MMO sensibilities, the POW means that players wanting to go solo will be able to do so. So I'm sure we'll see a few Kirito's around. The map will be 16 kilometers by 16 kilometers with full dynamic weather and day-night cycles, wildlife, vehicles, and more. So that's really going to be fun to see. There's a lot of battle royales, and I do love the genre itself, and I hope it kind of evolves more into the original aspect, more than what we've seen, which is just the same old thing. Now for my beautiful lovers out there, that means you contemplate players. The game does indeed plan on bringing the game to consoles. As we've seen in the past, James has said everything is carefully designed around controllers. So we aren't just going to be making a PC game and port it over to console. It's being built now with the console in mind. We don't have an exact release date yet, so it will be coming, we just don't know when. I'm assuming it's going to be a few months after the actual PC release, or maybe it'll be with. It's not impossible. What will be cool is kind of what Fortnite does, is that Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PC players can all play together. That seems to be a more recent thing because I used to not be able to do that on Fortnite. Now I can actually play with my PS4 with an Xbox player or a PC player, and vice versa. It's pretty fancy. So I hope they do this with this, so that way the whole community does not suffer from any type of segregation. Now the rest of the article goes on to talk about different quotes that James has said in the past, and I've already stated them in previous videos, so they're kind of pointless to talk about now. If I can be blunt for a moment, I think that Deceit should have been on the console. It's still not too late to be on the console. It probably would have done very well. It probably would do very well because of what it is. It's a horror game, but it's also an action game. I think it would do pretty well on console right now, but it is what it is. Well guys, I'm still pretty fucking excited for Mavericks, and I do apologize for not having created more Mavericks content, but the reality of the situation is the videos they've released are pretty self-explanatory in the sense that they're usually Q&As or they're answering questions and more than anything, so the rest of the videos that I would be doing about it would just be me speculating or reacting to the videos itself, and that's just not what I want to do and run this channel on. Like I said in the beginning in the video, whenever there's news or game updates or something that I can kind of get hyped on or maybe disappointed on or whatever, I will talk about it on this video, but I don't want to do any speculative stuff. But anyways, if you guys liked the video, make sure to give it that sexy motherfucking thumbs up and comment below what you think of the game. At least in theory so far. Make sure to subscribe for more content and click that gorgeous bell to know when I upload a brand new video. Also remember to follow the purple flowers. You'll know what I mean if you've been watching my videos. And as always, till next time, friends.